Hello, my name is Frank Christensen and I'm the coordinator of officials for IFAF Europe. This is the first of 6 training tapes dealing with blocks below the waist. Today we're looking at the 10-2 variety of blocks below the waist. So we're going to look at some linemen to see when can they block 9-3, when can they only block 10-2, and we'll have a look at some clips. But before we get to the game tape, let's have a look at what the MOFO and the rule book have to say. In the rule book, we start with 2-3-2 by defining block below the waist. A block below the waist is a block in which the force of the initial contact is below the waist of an opponent who has one or both feet on the ground. When in question, the contact is below the waist. B, a blocker who makes contact above the waist and then slides below the waist has not blocked below the waist. If the blocker first contacts the opponent's player's hands at the waist or above, it is a legal above the waist block. In Rule 916, Article 6A says, Team A prior to a change of team possession. Linemen with initial position completely inside the tackle box may legally block below the waist inside the tackle box or the free blocking zone until the ball leaves the tackle box. All other Team A players are allowed to block below the waist only if the force of the initial contact is directed from the front. Directed from the front is defined as within the clock face region between 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock forward of the area of concentration of the player being blocked. In the MOFO, we start with section 3.3 contact fouls. 4 deals with blocking below the waist, and B says for the first 3 seconds after the snap, when in question, the ball has not left the tackle box. Thereafter, when in question, the ball has left the tackle box. And E goes on to say, remember that it is the direction related to the opponent's area of concentration, not the point of contact, that determines whether a block below the waist is directed from the front or not. And finally, when in doubt principles 45 says a block below the waist occurred before, not after, the ball left the tackle box. And that was the book. Now let's have a look at some game film. In this first example, we're looking at the running back here, A2, who's going to do this. And this is a legal block because, as you can see, if we freeze it right there, the defender actually turns his side to the block after the running back has committed. So when the defender does that, it is not on the running back to make sure that the block is legal. He is lined up, squared up on the defender, so he is going to go 10-2, but because the defender turns his side there, that turns into a side block, but a legal one because now it's on the defender. It is his responsibility. Now this sometimes is difficult because sometimes the defender turns after being hit, but here what we're looking for here is that they were hit, they were squared up before the hit happened. And we'll see some other examples where this is not the case. But here, when they're squared up before the hit happens and then the defender turns, this is a legal low block by A2. Once again, we're looking at the running back, but this is a different situation. Here, this is an illegal block since the defender is trying to go around him and the running back never manages to get completely squared up. So when he initiates contact, it is from the side. Now it looks worse than it is simply because after the contact, or rather the contact also makes the defender turn But if we see here where there was no way that the running back was ever going to make this a 10-2 block. So had this been done with the current rules, this would be an illegal low block. And I hope it's possible to see the difference from the first one where the defender turns himself. Here, the running back comes in from the side and creates the low contact at 3 o'clock. So here is a foul. Again, we're looking at the running back here, and he's going to make this block against B40, and this is an illegal block below the waist simply because it's from 3 o'clock. He needs to be 10-2 when he starts in the backfield. But it's an interesting one because let's say this had been 10-2. It would have been a legal block, and even if he had managed to make this block on his side of the original position of the ball in a 10-2 manner, it would have been a legal block since he is not restricted from the crackback rule. But in this situation here, since this is a 3 o'clock block, this is an illegal low block. Moving on to the O-line, we're looking at this guard right here. It's the right guard, but it's on the left side of the screen. And you'll notice that he makes a 3 o'clock block, but he starts out on the line of scrimmage, and he is in this situation allowed to go 3 o'clock. He is unrestricted, so this is a legal block in this situation. In this play, we're looking at the tackle closest to the camera, and again you'll notice that he is on the line of scrimmage, so he is allowed to block 3 o'clock, to make this block. Even though it looks bad for the defender, this is a legal block because he is on the line of scrimmage, and the timing of this block is such that this is a legal block. Here's another type of foul or block. We're looking at the snapper, the center, who's going to go downfield. Now, once he does that, he needs to go 10-2. He can no longer go 3 o'clock. He is now restricted. And even though he comes in apparently from the side, I think the way that the defender falls on his stomach, he falls forward, that to me is an indication that the block was from the front. This is a 12 o'clock block simply because of the way the defender falls on his belly. And we'll see examples later of what it looks like when the defender is hit from the side. But here, when you see the defender fall like that, this is a block in the side, or a block from the front rather, a legal block from the front, a 12 o'clock block. Again, we're looking at the center, and compare the last block to this one, where the last one the defender fell on his belly. Here you see that typical whip of the leg. That's when he's hit from the side, from one side, the leg on the other side will do this kick up, which is a clear indicator that the block was from the side. Where if he falls on his belly, that means the block was from the front. When he kicks up like this, that means the block was from the side. And in this situation, once the linemen go to the linebacker level, they have to go 10-2. So this is an illegal low block by the center. While the last play was on the play side, this block happens on the back side. So we're looking at the tackle away from the camera, and he's going to engage a linebacker, but he's going to do the same type of block as the center did in the previous play, And you'll notice that he comes in from 3 o'clock again, and the same thing happens with the defender's leg. It kicks out like this. It's a clear indicator that he was hit from the side, where if he's hit from the front, he's going to fall flat on his face, and the legs are not going to do anything. Here, when the block is 3 o'clock, you'll see the other leg kick up like that. It's a clear indicator. So this is again an illegal low block. And who's going to see this? Probably the best chance would be the backside wing. We might be able to get help from the umpire, but typically on a play like this, it would be the backside wing who has the best chance to catch this. And it would be nice to catch this because this is an illegal low block. Here we're looking at the tackle closest to the camera, and I included this one just to illustrate that the unrestricted part only applies as long as the ball is still in the tackle box. So the players, the block, and the ball all have to be in the tackle box for the restriction to be waived. As soon as the ball leaves the tackle box, now the offensive line is again restricted. So even though this block is from the front, you see how the defender falls forward, or rather it has to be from the front to be legal, because this is a sweep. So now the running back has the ball, and we started in position 1. Now he's over by position 4, so he's clearly out of the tackle box. So had this block been from the side, it would have been illegal, but in this case, with the way the B51 falls, we've now established that this is from the front and therefore a legal block. In this last clip, we're looking at the tight end closest to the camera here, and I included this clip just to illustrate that even though the tight end is part of the offensive line, the tackle box means the tackle box. So the tight end is restricted, which means that whether it's play side or backside, if he wants to go low, he has to do it from 10 to 2. So this is clearly a 3 o'clock block, and as such, this is an illegal block because it's not from 10 to 2. And that was the training tape. I hope you found something you can use on the field.